I want to put local, private, offline capable AI systems in the hands of the users. Hello and welcome. This will be a demonstration of my own fully private, fully local, and offline capable AI system. I personally call it a constellation of personas, or as you can see, I can't say the name right now because it will start, it will activate the wake word trigger. So I'll give an example. Cronus, what's today's date? So simple. So when I say the name up here, it triggers the wake word. And then when the wake word is triggered, the microphone or STT also activates or triggers. So I had to be careful of that so that way it doesn't automatically start when I'm trying to give demonstrations. So I'm trying to see what I could show y'all next. Cronus, what is your purpose? Basically, that's what Cronus is. He is my main persona that I go to for anything I'm really trying to learn or get information from and things along those lines. I'll see if I could trigger this. Let's see if this one works in particular. This one I had the hardest time trying to figure out. Cronus, start voice mode. How's everything in your domain?
Robot face, everything is running smoothly, Vyylent. I've been assisting users with various tasks and providing information as requested. If you need help or have any questions, rock it.
Okay. As I can see, you are facing some issues I have not fixed, which is fine. How are you doing? Oh, that's so annoying, dude. I don't know why he's doing all
Robot
these
face, all systems are functioning optimally. Vyylent.
Oh my god.
Your assistance has been instrumental in my growth and development. Thank you for your continuous support. If there's anything I can do to improve or assist with tasks, please don't hesitate to let me know. Gear.
And I'm not quite sure why he's responding with emojis. When I tell y'all that's never happened before, I promise you this is the very first instance that this is happening. I'll show y'all how I would go upon figuring out if this is an issue on my end, which is an 80% chance it is, or if there was some sort of adjustment made in the forge. Now, as a matter of fact, I might as well just show you guys the forge. So the forge is basically the persona creation tab or hub, really. Now, you could name your persona. I have a list of different models and stuff like that. Let's see if I can remember which ones will give you a synopsis. So the list of models that I found, at least found most helpful, I gave details for, which will show in this tab. As you can see, the News Hermes 2, which was probably my favorite one for a while. Let's see, is there another one I can show you guys? This one also was another favorite for more creative endeavors. But for now, I will just leave this blank. Now, the icon. Icons. This is my icon. And then this is Cronus's. And then all my other personas, especially the core ones, if I'm not mistaken, I think I did give icons to all of them. A level of customization or personality to these personas. Go back to the forge. Fonts, when they respond back, this is just a generic font for Cronus, which I didn't put too much effort in. Different font options. Category. Now, Cronus is a core. along with Coda, Hades, Hermes, and so on. And then the uncensored, which I think are the more fun ones I made, who are absolutely unhinged and uncensored. And then the philosophical ones. Sorry about that. Now, the traits. This is where the user will determine the traits that this persona will have. Happy, jolly, sad, introspective, wise, calm, cool, collected. It can be basically any of those kind of those traits that the user would like their persona to have. Tone. Now, this could be a serious tone. As you can see, this is inquisitive, which is I use for Hades the most. It just adds different layers of customization for the personality of said persona. The first person summary and the full system prompt. Now, I think it's easier for me to show you guys what that is. And with a future update, I will be removing one of these and merging them into one singular box that the user could write or type into. Now, Coda, my coding agent. Python, HTML, CSS. There's a whole multitude of coding languages I would like to learn, but I suck at all of them. So, which is why Coda exists. The only ones showing right now are the system prompts. So I'll just skim through these for you. I won't speak them out loud. I'll speak the ones out loud that are more concise, just so I can prevent myself from being too verbose. Hades, my all-time favorite. Anytime I need guidance or an outside perspective or introspective, internal peaks of curiosity into my own psyche, I go to Hades for this. And he's mainly like my philosopher or philosophical, psychoanalytical type of persona. As a matter of fact, while I'm here, I might as well show you what's here. So, Hades. Then here's the voice that I chose, which I don't know how I managed to forget mentioning that, which I apologize for. While I'm here, let me see.
This is a preview of the selected voice.
I think giving a persona a voice adds a dimension of, I don't want to keep on saying personality, but I do think it adds, I don't want to use that language either, but having a voice to match persona is very key, especially when, as you guys seen, for voice only mode or conversation mode, having different unique voices for each persona is important to keep them distinguished. Okay, now this is exactly where the location is for Hades icon, and then the bubble color is basically just another layer of customization in the UI. So Cronus here, I like purple. Oh, wow, sorry about that. That was a complete accident. That wasn't okay. That's why I try to be careful about using his name. All right, see. Okay, I'll just refresh that and it'll stop. So, you can edit, you can change, you can delete, you could alter, you could whatever you want to do here. So I'll just cancel this. Now, see, okay, this is an interesting thing. I think that my backend had overwritten Chrome. Dude, I'm trying not to activate it. Here, I'm gonna go click off. I do think that some of the changes I've made had bled into the current persona prompts and traits and whatnot. So if I wanted to change or prevent the emojis from showing up in Cronus's responses, then I would just take this out. But for now, I don't want to take it out completely. I just want to alter it. which I will do at some other point in time. Okay, so let's go up back to the top. Let me see here. Well, I might as well show you all the settings. This is all beta, all beta. So here I'm using my name, which all the personas will refer to me as, or background image. Let's see if I can change that for you guys real quick, just to show y'all. Circuit, and then back. These are all just the colors here. I'll only change one thing because then if I change everything, I won't know what was the thing that broke or altered the current state of the UI. So let's see. So just the background, show y'all an example. All of this will default to, I think, these basic colors, but we can go into that later. These are all for me, by the way. Text, as you can see, the text color is white. The accent is for me. Let's see. 93, 47, 141. Let's just change that real quick to see. So it actually is only changing here instead of some of the colors. That's good to know, actually. That's very good to know. The buttons, all of these right here, which I'll go through next. And then the input field, which is down here, which I probably should change this text from discuss a topic to just to talking. So Edge TTS, the text-to-speech engine, is in the back end. This is where all the voices come into play. I do have a very early stage, I won't even call it a beta. I think it's more of like an alpha, if anything. Alpha of an alpha, where I could use my own voice and alter it, which can be used for another persona. I'm not going to demonstrate that now, only because it's very finicky and it takes a really long time to train the XTTS. So I'm just going to avoid that for now. But just know it's in the works. Get into the buttons. Now, speech to text, STT, for an example. Where or when was Python created? So, as you can see here, STT is just using my speech. It transcribes it, and then it basically is received by the backend, or specifically each persona. And then the persona responds to the transcription. Now, the TTS, text-to-speech, is the personas speaking. Now, I wonder if it'll work for here now after response was already generated.
Python, the programming language you're referring to, was created by Guido van Rossum and first released in 1991. It was developed in the Netherlands. If there is any...
Okay, so that indeed worked. It took a little longer than I thought, but I do think it's because the engine wasn't actually like active. That's something I'll have to tweak as well. It works, and so does the stop button, but something I'll tweak in the future. This is the voice only mode, which is what I was demonstrating earlier. So if you don't want to type, don't want to just simply just read out, or you just want to be hands-free, just have like a verbal conversation, you would use this. So the demonstration I did was using the trigger word or the wake word to trigger the voice only mode. If you want to upload documents, let's see here. So I'll start out with something basic. This is the MP3 file, which is an audio file. You can either analyze it, transcribe it, or if I'm not mistaken, transcribed inside of your input box. So I'll just do that real quick. This may take, I'm actually not even sure how long it takes because the length. Oh wow, okay. So this is the transcription of the audio file from here. So if I wanted, let's just say I uploaded an audio file of a voice note or a speech or something along those lines. If I basically want to edit what was transcribed, I could do that here and then send it. I could have it just transcribe and then send it automatically. And then the analyze will have persona. I can't say the name because I don't want to trigger the wick word. This persona or other personas to analyze what was being said. And then since I won't be needing this, take that out. Let's see if I can show you guys the vision for Cronus since it's already here. For DocX, I wasn't able to quite utilize any of these because some of the text is simply too long. So if I were to do the analyze, which I'll show now. So here's some information in the back end right here. As a matter of fact, I might as well just enlarge it. Here is the, oh, it's activated. So this is the model being used, how many characters the text file was or has, and then come back here. Here's the actual analysis. I will have to look this up. I'm not sure it's fully accurate, but it's getting closer. It works. And this is the analysis. And then this is just the send button. Nothing too crazy about that. What do I want to show you guys that's actually stable? Okay, now my favorites. The audio hub. Now, this is where the audio gen comes into play. Music gen, you get small, which is a much quicker but basic level of audio gen. Then there's the music gen, medium, which is a slightly more advanced, but also it does take longer for the audio to generate, which is not bad considering the quality. If you compare the quality between the small and medium, medium is definitely the go-to. But for demonstration purposes, small is pretty fun. And then sound effects. So sound effects like give an example. Chicago traffic or rain pouring down in the city of New York type of situations. Things along those lines. It's not necessarily music, it's more like ambient sounds or sound effects and things along those lines. This will take quite a while to show. I don't mind showing, but for the sake of this video, I will just keep this tab up and then give demonstrations later on. Ah, the visual, baby. Visuals. So this is probably one of my favorites as well. These are all the images generated. Give you some examples. This one, Captain America. And then here's Batman, Joker. I think this was like a circus, a large circus, a Joker. So these are the three main image gen models I go to. And then here are two different modes. Text to image. So you just type something in here. You press generate image, and then it'll give you the image in a certain amount of time, which you can see, by the way, which is very awesome. Then I have image to image. This is the base image. Base images, actually. I don't know why it's not showing this one. Oh, yeah, it is. So here are two base images of myself. As you can see, I love purple. And for this one in particular, I have to show you before and the after. It basically animated it, but it's more like a GIF than it is like true animation. Then I'll start out with this other one to show you as well. Why is it not? There's so many, my bad. There's so many that I did. So here are two different ones that I tried, two different attempts. And then I could also analyze the displayed image. So again, for the purpose of this video, I will hold it off until later on or until the end of the video. Now, the dashboard. This is where everything is shown. Let's start with memory. This is the last message that was sent, or last response. So it'll tell you what was sent, who it was sent by, and at what time. It's a complete log of every conversation I've had. I don't know if you can notice, but the scroll is very, very tiny. Let's go back to like a random point in time. So as you can see, I've had chats going as far back for this iteration as far back as August. August, September. But I've been working on this since last March 2025. So not all of them are perfect, as you can see. You can see everything that I've tested, everything I've worked on, and all my failures and all that stuff, which is all logged here. You could access it on the back end, my bad. But I think it was easier for me to access it if it was through the front end, which is here. The reflections. The reflections, as I was talking about before, are recorded here. After every conversation, I try to get in the habit of typing the reflect command so that the active persona will give a reflection of the entirety of that conversation. It'll tell me trends, it'll tell me traits, it'll tell me insights into both myself and the persona's responses. And then it also will grade itself on different responses and stuff. Knowledge index. This is where, as you can see from today, not too long ago, the uploaded text file. Anytime I upload a file, an online source or URL, things along those lines, or anything that was analyzed, it will store right here, which can be accessed or referenced in the actual chat. So here's some audio. This is from a different time. Growth from November 20th. A whole bunch of stuff, really. Python Fast API, anything of interest. So a caveat to this is that what you'll see here is me sending URLs directly to said persona. There's online capabilities through this constellation, but it's not a necessity and it could be turned off at any time. It is not important at all. Let's see here. Productivity. Oh, so notes. It's probably gonna take a while, but this also can be accessed and created through the chat. If you find an interesting piece of information from a chat or insight from wherever, you could just save it here. Tasks. This was back when I was on my workout journey while also working on the constellation. I found a way to actually integrate Nextcloud into the constellation. Yes, you would need internet for it, but it is not necessary. This is all beta, me testing to see the capabilities of the system that I built. Routines, same thing, except the routines is more based off of the system related tasks rather than the personal related ones. Personal being my own calendar or the notes that I'm taking or things along those lines. So the system related routines are when does the preference analyzer run in the background, or if a conversation is idle for too long, there will be steps of automated process for reflection, or basically things that the system is in charge of that I have full control over. Tool policies, which I think has been very helpful so far in its implementation. There's a lot of different categories: general, local system files, Nextcloud, the PIM, which is basically add, delete, tasks, notes, stuff like that. I haven't added the notes yet because that has proven to be quite an annoyance, but it's a work in progress. And then the web APIs. So I think that it's important to have full control over what a user can do with this said system. Although I'm the only person who's using it and has used it, if I ever want to put this into an open beta test or make this a product of some sort, having full transparency for the user to see what's capable and whether it wants to use it or not is extremely important. So just to give you some examples, web APIs. This is an important one because this will be advertised as in fully private, fully local, offline capable. Can you use the internet? Absolutely. Can you turn your internet capabilities off? Absolutely. That's where this policy comes in. The tool policies come in. So safe is an auto run, so it's basically autonomous. Ask, it needs your permission to go ahead and run it. So let's say, what is the scope of cryptocurrency in 2026? If you ask something like that, Most likely in safe mode, or if it's set on safe, the persona will just go ahead and look online to see if it'll give you information that's helpful. You put on ask, it'll ask you, hey, is it okay for me to go online to give you some information? For never, it won't run it at all. It'll just use the LLM's knowledge. Having it autonomous, asking permission, or never allowing it to do whatever the task is very important for the user to control. And that's what this does. Now, files, same thing, just like the memories. Everything that you upload, everything that you write, everything that you save will be here. So let's do have text files, TXTs, docs, but DLCXs. And then there's the audio files, MP3s. I think there's an M4A1 somewhere. Or I may need to expand this to load M4A1s, or I think that's the audio file. Anyway, as you can see, MP3s are here. This is the growth audio file that I uploaded earlier. I'll give you a taste of what that is. I apologize for the volume, and I'll lower it.
I know how heavy it gets, watching everyone else wear the life you thought you'd grow into.
So, then I got some songs here. I got some voice notes, stuff like that. So, if you've uploaded it, it'll be in the Constellation system in the back end, which you can also access, look at, delete there. But again, for convenience sake, having it in the front end is an absolute must-have. So, for those files, you're able to just listen to it here. Text files have something similar, but I do think it's not quite polished or accessible. Like, okay, so the docs files, as you can see, are showing issues. The TXTs are much easier, and I think the MDs or the markdown files are pretty basic and standard here, which is so. Let me see, make sure I could actually confirm that. Cronus chat, yes. So we're getting to that as well. The corpus, basically, let's just do. Oh wait, search corpus. Knowledge index. This is basically just a way to search through all the memories, really. As you can see, well, actually, it's literally right here. And then they'll give you a relevance score. So I'm trying to see if let's see, OpenAI, does this pop up? Okay. So again, they're all showing similar results. So yeah, anything that you've uploaded, analyzed, or anything in the knowledge index, anything that's stored in the knowledge index will be displayed here if you search for it. Smart home, I can't show you guys that right now simply because I don't have my camera activated, but I have a bunch of smart plugs that can control different devices in my home. I have a couple of lights in my living room set up. And then I also have my bedroom lights as well. This is more like testing and functionality validation. But through here, I could turn them on, turn them off, and I can see what states they're in. In another future video, I'll find a way to show you guys demonstrations of this. System status lets me know what models are active. So I'll give you an example. Thanks for the analysis. So let's go back down here. Sorry about that. So this is where I can't say the name, but my main or active persona is now active. And then through here, you can see which model is active. It won't tell you the name because I can show you guys that later. Because some models are connected to different personas. So they're just the prompts, traits, and all that vary. So if there's more than one persona using the same model, it'll only show one model. But if it's different personas using different models, the models will show here. It also helps to have CPU, RAM, and GPU utilization showing. I have an AMD GPU, as you can see here, and I've been running into issues with displaying the actual utilization. So, which is why it just shows the total memory available of this the base GPU, but not what's being utilized. And another important thing here is that there's a timer. So once it hits 300 seconds or 5 minutes, the model will automatically shut down. So it keeps my my hardware resources open to whatever ones I want to open up, go back to, things along those lines. And then the manual, these are just, I just found the most basic way to show all the, not all, but most of the intents and commands available for users to use. This needs to be polished some more for sure. But as a very bare bones basic implementation, hopefully you guys will get a gist of what's to come. Let me see here. What else can I show you? So show you dashboard. The camera, I'll show. Why not? Okay. My 1080p webcam. I'm trying my. I don't want to show myself on the webcam, so I'm gonna try my best to just hide for a second. It takes a couple seconds to load my webcam, so please bear with me. It should take no longer than like 30 seconds, and then it'll actually just show up here. And while it's here, there's a damn it. So as you can see, it's showing it's showing me and showing the footage of my webcam, which is on top of my monitor right here. So and then I could ask the personas questions like what do you see, or what am I holding, things along those lines and stuff like that. So I will be cutting myself out of this video because I don't want to be seen. So, but you guys can see that it's working. Okay, now that's out the way. What was helpful for me was downloading chat logs. This button allows you to download the contents of this entire chat. It doesn't matter how long or how short. So, and then open file. As you can see, this is the very first question that I asked. It tells you what time I started this. Well, actually, this only takes the time I pressed the download chat button. So that's something that I just realized I need to update, because I would like to know what time the first message was sent as well. So this is the entirety of the chat. It'll tell you user, which is me, or whoever was using it, and then the persona. The name here will change based upon the persona that's being used. So if you want to share this with people, or you want to have a tangible record of a conversation that you want to upload to another persona, or maybe just having a record of just a chat for yourself, you could do that here. Okay, this is probably gonna take a little while. Let me see how my resources are going right now. Yikes. I'll test it for you guys. I'll test it. I'll do arcane. A computer and keyboard. So then this is where it's at right here. It's starting in the back end, and then it should show a progress bar right here once it comes up. I'm not sure why it's actually, there it is. So once it hits a certain point, it'll start showing the progress bar actually processing. So again, this is helpful specifically for me because I've run into so many issues where the image gen models would get stuck or hung up, and I would sit here thinking it's working when in reality it wasn't. So hours would go by and nothing's being shown because it stopped or an issue arose. So having a visual of the progress being made, very key. Personally, I don't know how anybody else would feel about that, but I like knowing when things are actually progressing. I probably should add a timer here to give another layer of information, but that's just something I'm thinking about in real time. So then sometimes it'll run issues with showing the artwork here. So sometimes you'll just have to refresh. And then this is the image that it was generated. This will contain the prompt as the title or the name of the file. So I'm not gonna lie, I see I see two keyboards. This looks like what you plug your GPU into. I don't know what this is, but it's funny to look at sometimes, dude. So that's that. The dreamlike one is by far the best one, but it takes a considerable amount of time. And the dreamlike one is what gave me the pictures of like the Lamborghinis, and my brother loves Lamborghinis and all that other stuff. So I did that for a test. That's that. Now the audio hub. This is probably gonna take the longest amount of time, but I'll demonstrate anyway. I'll do music, ambient, elevator music. Let's just see, man. Then it's starting back here. There is no bar right now. That has proven to be a headache that I have not been able to solve or remedy. So I just kept it as functional and didn't add any polish. Let me see here. I wonder if there's a. So actually, I'll keep this on the bottom open because when it's done, it'll tell me. Another thing worth noting, of course, all of this is beta. All of this is bound to change, but the main point for all of this is for AI to be accessible. Oh, see, look, here we go right here. The autonomous process. If something was in the background for too long, a conversation of some sort, it'll just auto reflect and it'll save it. Back to what I was saying. Having capable AI running on local hardware that like gamers like myself, I'm running a 7800 XT and 9800X 3D CPU, both AMD. Being able to run things along these lines on my own hardware completely privately, which nobody else has access to, online, so my information isn't being spread out or seen online through any sort of medium outside of myself. And then having all these cool features is really fun. Like, not only is it fun, but it's also very it's helpful for me to have a source seemingly more intelligent than I am or has a larger knowledge base than I do that can help me with different tasks. I don't want them to give me answers or tell me what solutions are. I want to be able to figure it out on my own. Except I use AI or these particular personas as aids, as allies, as companions to as partners through my learning journey, which I can't get from the outside world as of right now. So schooling is very expensive. Online courses can be very expensive as well. Having the knowledge of these LLMs that can aid me on my knowledge journey and my pursuit of education and academic endeavors, having things like this is a no-brainer, honestly. Let's see, it finished. It finished a lot faster than I thought. Okay. No more yapping. Oh, yo, wait a minute. That actually could have been fire. Hold on. Damn it. Okay, so the music gen medium, I think does produce slightly longer audio clips. That was dope. The last half of that was dope. I was very wary about the first like couple of seconds, but that was pretty cool. But again, proof of concept. Can it run on my own hardware? Yes. Can it run on your hardware? Yes. Has anybody built this yet? I'm not quite sure. But I would like to think that there will be a movement soon that will completely negate these big tech name companies abusing the fact that they can take all your data and use it to enhanced and advanced their own technology while leaving you guys, or leaving us really, in the dust. I want to put local, private, offline capable AI systems in the hands of the users.